roads with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go from here?
Hello everyone and welcome back to something. I don't know, let's get the welcome screen back up so that I guess I pissed someone off, so that's a thing. The chat, that's probably why the chat is like way off. So we'll try to fix the chat and whatnot. We'll try to fix the everything, but it's probably the So yeah, I don't know what's going on, at all with it looks like somebody put a copyright claim on that, which I don't like, because I'm not doing copyright stuff, obviously. Oh, that's, yeah, just gonna stay there for a bit. But apparently I pissed off someone enough that they feel the need for it. He probably did, yeah. However, I'm starting to think that it might be Whimsical, who's calling us sissies. Which is fine. Which is also how you get put on a timeout like that. Someone owns a picture you use potentially, but I'm gonna go. So it looks like it was a manual thing, from the era that I got, and I guess I can show that because, you know, that's a thing that exists, and I can show kind of the screenshot of what I got there. Let's get OBS here going again. We'll switch you over to, there we go, and I think, let's see. If I got this here, kind of, more or less a little bit there. That does not give it at all justice. Let's see if we can reset that at all. But pretty much, I got this notice that said, I guess I just gotta read it. This stream has been stopped because we detected copyright audio or video because we received the complaint from the community guidelines violation. I don't know. So that's where that is. Maybe he was calling. I don't know. I'm sorry, Whimsical, if you weren't, but I am rather nervous about. You're new, and so I don't know you, and it's not the first time that people have entirely shown up to my channel and just started to like do all sorts of things, right? I'm now officially an internet pirate, so there's a good chance that I don't want to say that it's me because obviously, clearly, Validation Boy's channel is still up, right? So I don't want to say that it's an actual copyright claim, because if it was like you are showing something that shouldn't be shown, then I feel like validation voice video would also not be up for that reason. But you know, what do I know? The rules are always kind of like they're always odd with YouTube. So either way, YouTube has shut down that last one. It either was he wasn't getting his feelings validated, because I don't know if it was a manual thing, like somebody manually said, hey, R&D's channel is showing this shit, or if whatnots. Well, and again, I'm real sorry, Whimsical, if it wasn't you, but I don't know you. Sorry. You were only put on timeout for like the 5 minutes, so if things settle down after 5 minutes, we'll be cool. But I'm just paranoid because it's not the first time. We've had other times where people have just decided to join and spam shit that they shouldn't be to try to get my channel shut down, and that just sucks. It just sucks. It's not a fun way to do that. Does Validation Boy register his content with copyright ID? He might. He's not that big of a channel, so I would be surprised, but maybe he did. Either way, we weren't. The only way that I would be breaking that rule is by playing, if it's like automatic, is that I'm playing too much of it, which does like if you play like if you play so much of a video, it gets like it gets automatically tagged and grabbed and whatnots. So it might be potentially that, but I don't know. So I don't know. We could. It tripped while the video was paused though. I don't know when it tripped. I mean, it tripped. I think it tripped differently for you guys than it did for me. So I don't know when that video ended. Obviously, I'm gonna talk to. Not that I can talk to anyone on YouTube, but I will, fight this as it's not copyright. Manually, I start time render the video so it's a mirror image of the original, so it beats the automatic content. Yeah, it's probably the picture. It might have been the picture that he used. I did try. This is one of those that I did try to get that video. I did try to download the video and do what I usually do, but YouTube was being weird and I couldn't quite get around to it quick enough. So we were playing it off of YouTube. So I don't know what the weirdness is here. I'm gonna go with, obviously I'm not doing copyright shit because we're doing commentary, very clearly doing commentary. But if it is automatic copyright, there's a window that if you play too much of it without like stopping to do commentary, then it gets automatically kicked. I know that's happened quite a bit, which is why sometimes you need to pause more often. I feel like I didn't hit that, but maybe I did. Who knows? Who really knows? So either way, probably not going to be able to do that one. You're pretty sure it's just the pics? It might have been the pics. Again, I'd be surprised if it was, because, and maybe because streams are dealt with differently than YouTube videos. Validation Voice, whatchamacallit, video is still up currently. So it makes me wonder about that, because his video is already up. Like, his video is not having these issues, at least as far as I know. Maybe he is, I don't know. So who knows? Either way, I would be rather impressed if the whatever algorithm that YouTube uses can pick out that image out of this whole mess. Wrong side. This whole mess that we got here. That'd be hilarious. I think that Validation Boy has up his ass, got loose, and panicked a little. That's also possible. And again, I will continue to apologize to Whimsical. I don't know you, and so I don't know if you're the one. If somebody did that, somebody like if somebody reported this video unnecessary. You came in with saying sissies, and I wasn't sure if that was true towards me in the chat or if it was towards the people. So you just got put on timeout. If you come out of timeout and we talk it out and you're cool, we're cool. But I don't know what's going on. So you get timed out. Sorry. Not really if you're the one who did this, I don't really feel bad. So, but yeah, yes, I just don't know who you are. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with only wide and right atop. The shows beat VD at least once every 8 weeks, and the uncalled for will do this too. Pretty sure either has never had a live stream kicked or do two VD videos. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, like so a lot of this is weird because obviously I do this every week, right? So this isn't like this is new considering that I've done this every week for like 2 years now, but a little bit longer than 2 years now that I've done like let's pick a video, talk about it, and this is like I'll usually get like I do have it. I don't talk about it that often, but I do have like videos that are like this video is not deemed okay for monetization, or the creator of the original video says that it's not. And I do have a few videos like that, whatever, right? But I've never outright been kicked out of a stream and been like, probably closer to 3 years, yeah. But in those 3 years of streaming other people's videos, including videos from relatively big channels, like when I did Gavin McInnes, I've done other bigger YouTubers. Obviously, I've done like way bigger YouTubers than me. Done the Ration I Rule stuff, done Jaredism. Like I've done other people's videos that are bigger channels than me who had the power to do this shit. And it's never been a problem, right? It's never been a that has never been the cause to stop a stream mid going. So it makes me think that it's something else. I appreciate the apology. It also wasn't me. I came back from work. Stream was gone. I read some comments to see what was going on. Seemed to be someone may have copyrighted, so I said sissy. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's fine. I just, like I said, I just don't know who you are yet. The algorithm is said to be less forgiving since YouTube doesn't have people to mod content because of the virus. That's also true. And I could see that, right? Like YouTube has less people on staff to be able to go through this stuff, right? Like they just don't have that ability at the moment. And as well as should, I'm not going to be one of those people who complains to them and be like, "Oh, you're letting them out." Like I believe people's safety is more important than whether my channel gets to keep doing this shit, right? It would be fine from home to work. Yeah, I know. So, you're right. You're not wrong. It is a job that someone could do from home. Probably Google. Not that you're listening. Maybe you are because you shut down my goddamn stream. Um, is something that could be done from home. Should probably be done from home. If you're concerned about safety, but I also wouldn't give you too hard of a time if you decided that you just don't want as many people in the office as otherwise, right? That's fine. If you love your sanity, do not search longer and harder on YouTube. Probably shouldn't. So there are definitely concerns with all this. I don't know what that means for this channel, honestly. I'm slightly concerned about continuing the show at this moment. At least with the typical let's watch another video thing, because I don't know if this will happen again, and I don't know when like one if this happens again, like there's I don't know at how much of a danger my channel is of getting shut down because of streams, right? So it does make me slightly worrisome to continue the channel, or to continue at least to do this format. If this is going to be a problem. Don't want that. Don't want problems. So I'm trying to, and unfortunately, I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging around with this weird episode of copyright strike. As I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, because I obviously still want to do a show, but continuing to do it in the typical way that I do it may mean another copyright thing, which is going to negatively affect the channel. Get it potentially shut down, which I'd rather not happen. Do I have a strike? Not so far. I should check my email. Check my email. What does my email say? Hey, Google Chrome. Where are you? Also, Google Chrome is being really weird, and I don't like it. I had to reinstall it because it's just the worst. Your video was been removed. Oh, look, I did get a letter. Hi, Rhetoric&Discourse, and I could probably show you. As you may know, and let me see how much of this I can show. So let's go here and default that. Okay. Um, let's remove that. Yes, and then we'll add another one. Sorry, this is gonna be not what I want to do at all. Um, not what I God. I am just a mess. This is making me be a absolute mess rather than the obviously composed person that I usually am, right? Because that's how that typically works. So, let's go here, and we are going to go to my email. There we go. And let's make my email so that I don't show you too much of my personal life and whatnots, but you can still read the email with me. We'll all read the email. Why not, right? Reading class. Because we all know how good at reading RND is. He is just the best at reading the everything. So I'm sure this will not go poorly at all. All right, so here is the email that I received from the YouTubes. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Longer and Harder, was flagged to us for review. Upon review, we determined that it violates our guidelines and we removed it from YouTube. We know this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. If contents break the rules, we remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, I do. You can appeal, and we'll take another look. Keep reading for details. Video content restriction. As mentioned, we removed your content because we think it violates the community guidelines. You can find specific information about these guidelines in YouTube Helper. This is the thing that I hate. Like, it violates guidelines. Which guidelines? I don't actually know which guidelines. So that's kind of broad and annoying because I genuinely don't know which guidelines you are talking about, YouTube. So that's great. As mentioned above, whatever. Please note that due to recent global health crisis related to COVID-19, a number of our normal review process have been disrupted. You may read about that here. In an effort to prioritize well-being of our employees, our extended workforce, and communities where they live, we are relying less on human viewers and more on automation alone to make decisions. As a result, some content may get removed in error. If you think the removal was an error, please appeal using the form below, and you will get back to resources allow. Note that we will also be slow to respond and appeal requests. We apologize for this disruption. Taking these workforce precautions is the right thing to do for the people who work to keep YouTube safe and for the broader community. We appreciate everyone's patience as we take these steps during a challenging time. The removal does not result in community guideline strike or penalty on your account. Oh, that's good. However, we still encourage you to view all the content and make sure that it's in line with community guidelines. Additional violations could result in strikes against your account and even lead to account termination. Ooh. So yeah, there's that. That's great. It's gonna have to be something that I guess I deal with. Not on stream, obviously. So that's that. That's more or less how that works. I don't exactly know. Again, yeah, longer start copyright restriction. That's weird that you've been doing this for so long and only now did you get the stream taken down. Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, it's true. If I had a strike, so I don't have a strike. As the thing has said. I'm sure it'd be safe to pick another video. Yeah, that'd be good. I'm mostly annoyed that I'm mostly annoyed that how vague a lot of this is, right? I don't actually know what rules I broke, which is the worst thing about YouTube, honestly, when you're trying to deal with the terms of service is I don't know which rule I broke. So I don't know. So it might have been I just don't know. Which things that I well you do. It said copyright video or audio. No, it said and I can put it back up. It said more than that. It was a as you know, community guidelines, which content will allow and not allow. YouTube, your video is under review. Upon review, determine your violations of guidelines were removed from it. So it doesn't actually tell me. It doesn't actually tell me that it's a copyright thing, and even the post before that, the one that I got during the stream, also was very vague as well, and I believe it said something along the line. Excuse me, something along the lines of. Sorry, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Something along the lines of, the stream has been stopped because we detected copyright audio or video, or because we received a complaint of a community guidelines violation. So it's not actually. So they're making it very big. So it's not necessarily copyright. Um, because the orange thing that shows up says, or because we received a complaint of community guidelines violation. Yeah. So it's pretty much saying you broke one of our many rules. Which rule you broke, who knows? It's just that's the way it happened. So I don't know if it's a copyright thing. I don't know if it's a community guidelines thing. I don't know if it's terms of service things. It's just, well, I mean, probably terms of service things, right? Yeah. So that's where we're at. So yes, we can try another video. Obviously, if that stream goes down, we're just gonna quit for the day. But we can definitely pick a different video for today. So obviously, very obviously, number 7 is out. So do not in any way, shape, or form. If anybody strikes, it should be forced to say what part of the video violates their IP so that Ret can re-upload without that trace of that. Yep. Just show a funner and pick a Ret route. Yeah, we could. I mean, we could always switch it. Like I said, we can switch it to watching R&D draw. I've been drawing things terribly, by the way. But I've been going back to drawing things. Oh, I can show off some of the things that I've drawn. Okay, I will put up the vote. Feel free to vote. Do not vote for number 7. If you do, you are wasting your vote. So don't do that. Obviously it's not set up. I don't have another video, so don't. So don't. Right. But feel free to vote. Upside down eye plus vote. Plus the number you want to vote for. Just don't do number 7. Otherwise, you're wasting your vote. I will not be paying attention to number 7. Okay, so I have been trying to draw a little bit. This is entirely preliminary. So first, this is not a drawing for very clear reasons, but this was one of the puzzles that my D&D group, when I DM'd on Wednesday, had to solve, and they didn't. But they did great, so it was fun. It was fun either way. What else do I have here? Let's go back. What else we got here? Like I said, I've been trying to draw. I've been doing an awful job at it. I'm working on it. I've been trying to do some, just trying to get like figures and faces and things, just so that I can get eyes. Eyes and I were just never my friends. So we're just kind of working on some of those things, from time to time if I can. Just, gotta get that good. The like posing of people is still not my forte at all. So I'm still struggling with that, but trying my best. So I have been trying. So if doing streams where I talk about the shady things that people say on the internet isn't working out, we can always go back to drawing some things. We haven't done that in a while. And like I said, we always have some gameplay to do. Original content is for scrubs. Oh, Multi Tom Tom. Hello, Multi Tom Tom. How are you? I hope you're having yourself a good Sunday afternoon. I'm sure that you are, Multi Tom Tom, one of these people who does the whatever day it is, Easter. I hope you're having yourself a good Easter. Stay at home. Obviously, I know that it sucks to stay at home, but stay at home. I hope you're having yourself a good, safe Easter. I'm gonna make ham later today, which is gonna be delicious. I just haven't quite. It's my usual ham recipe, which involves some orange slices and some rosemary, and you just cook it slowly. It's really good. So steamed ham, always steamed ham. So I'm gonna make some ham after this. That's kind of our thing. Easter's a pagan. I mean, I agree with you. I just wasn't sure if you celebrated it, Multi Tom Tom, or not. But ham to celebrate a Jewish holiday is Christianity makes no goddamn sense. So the ham thing, we just my wife and I get a ham from her job. Like they give us a ham, so we cook it every year, right? It's because it's we get it. Like it's like we just get ham. So I'm not gonna not like do something with it. So I do put it in the oven and do all the things, right? And I cut up some oranges and I stuff them in the things and some rosemary. It turns out really good. Um, so it always turns out really great. But that's why I don't celebrate Easter, obviously. But that's what I do for Easter because I get a free one. Do they throw it through the window? We should throw it through the window. Swine is a harem. Oh, I wish. God, I wish swine was a harem. That would be fantastic. I don't think it is, though. How are you doing, Monty Tum Tum? I haven't talked to you in a very long time. I think the last time you talked to me, you were really nice to me for a little while, and then you kind of just went for like full out asshole. So I hope you're doing better than that now. But yes, not that kind of harem. Oh, haram, not harem. Oh, I see. I can't read. There for kosher. Oh, haram. I very, 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 very much so don't know religions. I don't care. I don't care much about religions. Just the fact that like pig harems is just that went south real quick. Oh goodness. Haram. So I are you Muslim, multi-time? I didn't know if you were. I don't know what religion you are. So I assumed you were Christian of some variety because I'm an American. I assumed that everyone is Christian of some variety because I'm American. But if you're not, I apologize. If you're Muslim, that's cool. I don't know what haram means. I guess haram is just not kosher, which is cool. There's a lot of weird kosher rules. I'm a Muslim convert from Catholicism. Okay. I'm a Catholic who went to atheism, so we like started in the same place and just ended up in different locations at the end. Well, very cool. I don't talk to a lot of people who are Muslim, not in the States at least, because I'm in the States and we really don't like Muslims in the state. That seems to be the thing for Americans. We just don't. Voting is all done. So number one with 50% of the votes. So we get to watch Hannah Williams, who is a pretty Christian lady. She is, if I remember right, she did a video with Paul and Morgan. That's their names. She did a video with Paul and Morgan not too long ago. I think we might have watched it. Not gonna lie, I think we might have watched the Paul and Morgan Hannah Williams video at some point or another. And it was interesting. Here we go. Hannah Williams. Put it up. No, you stop talking. You stop talking. Everyone stop talking now. God, that is a terrible place to pause at. So, she is going to tell us all about how abortion is wrong. Because of course it is, right? Oh goodness, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm also losing things. No. Let's go back to. Let's turn that off for a second. It's been a while since we've had a reset. We reset everything for. God, this show is just messing with all of my things, in ways that I didn't expect it to. So, you got to see some personal information. I am sorry that I have scarred you. Once I get my master's in psychology, you are all welcome to get free psychology from me. Oh goodness. Okay. So we got a lot of things. Atheism is denying the creator exists. Denying is okay. So you just said two things that are contradictory. I'm really curious about this. I'm real curious about this. Multi-tom-tom, because you just said like two things that are very contradictory of themselves. Atheism, satanic worship, and atheism is the denying that the creator exists. that seems really weird to me, because like if you're gonna do satanic worship, right? Like if that's what I'm gonna engage in, right? Um, then that means that I think that Satan exists, which would like imply that I think that God exists. Like it's really weird that I would think that Satan would exist, but not God. Like I believe this one mythical thing exists, but not the other one, which is just weird. Um, so like you said some very contradictory things. Like I can't. It's really weird that you think that I worship one mythological figure, but not the other. But yet at the same time, you say that I deny them. Like especially with Satan. Like Satan's whole thing is that he doesn't like his whole thing is that he's like against God, right? So like if I'm gonna worship Satan, then I have to believe in the fact that he exists to like contradict God, which is weird. Like um because it would mean that I had to believe in God. Like God has to exist for Satan to exist. Like, dude, you see the problem with your logic there? Like, I can't deny that one portion of this myth exists when it's such a pivotal part of the myth itself. It's kind of weird. Satan's job is to think that God doesn't exist. Oh, that's his job. That's also a very interesting job to have. Huh. Like, what do you accomplish? That's a very weird thing. Well, other cat's gonna leave us. She's tired of our shit. She's just done. The greatest trick ever pulled. Oh, I see. I see. Multi Tom Tom. I haven't offered this too much. I know that Igor TV at some point was like, "Hey, come debate me and whatnot." So you're welcome on my show. I didn't have time to talk about this shit. Not that I enjoy it very much. I am gonna say I'm welcoming you, but not that I enjoy this very much because I think I'm getting very bored of the atheism versus theism conversations at the moment. I think for the most part, it's rather boring. Like, you don't have any new arguments for me to like be like that for me to debunk, right? Like you're using the same arguments that whatever everyone else before you has used, um, and they're rather silly. So I'm not gonna particularly enjoy that conversation. But if you'd ever like to at least try to explain your position, you're more than welcome on the show to explain it. Obviously not right now because we're going to talk about abortions. You're going to hell. Mm, I don't know. Like I guess that's also hell is such an interesting. We're not talking about abortion rule. Hell is such an interesting thing to say from. I know you're not Christian, right? So maybe for Muslims this is okay, but it's such an interesting thing to say for Christians to say, like to want to condemn people to eternal suffering, like for a Christian to be like, yeah, like to want that seems really weird. Um, like, like as an atheist, right? It's apparently somebody who worships Satan. I would never wish such a thing about anybody. I wouldn't wish that to you, Multi Tom Tom. Like if I were a person who was in control of your internal uh, eternal salvation or eternal damnation, if I were in charge, right, as an atheist, is apparently a worshiper of Satan, if I were in charge of that, I wouldn't send you to hell. I couldn't like that. The idea of just like eternal suffering just seems unnecessary. So I would never like I wouldn't do that to you is a worshiper of Satan, so I don't know why you feel like it's okay for you to do that. Um, or maybe not you do that, but for you to be okay with somebody who does do that, right? Like when the Satan worshiper doesn't think that you deserve going to hell, but the God worshiper thinks that you do deserve going to hell. I feel like that's a bit of an incongruity. I don't know. That's just my thought, right? Like it seems a little incongruous. Like I don't wish hell upon you, multi Tom Tom, at all remotely. I wish that you have yourself a nice happy life, for the best of your ability to have a nice happy life, right? I have no ill will against you, but it's just something. Satanists live for the here and now. That's also very odd. Live for the here and now. Like I don't. like I could understand that of like nihilist, and I not like and I kind of get like I get real close to nihilism every once in a while, mostly when I'm sober and depressed. I get real close to nihilism, right? So I understand that like I would think like nihilism is very much so in the here and now, and there's some hedonism with all that, and you want to be like yeah, um, but like it's just it seems really odd that you say that when like so many atheists pursue like great careers and have doctorates and do research and do all this stuff that isn't going to reward them but is going to reward others. Like it's the researchers that do research, like atheist researchers who do research now, may get some like whatever, they might get their name on a paper, and that's cool and whatnots, but the real things that they change don't come until after they die sometimes, and yet they are still choosing to engage in that behavior, and this behavior that's got like a very long-term reward to it that they may not even see. um, um, Denying the creator is a great sin. I mean, that's fine. um, but again, like that's fine if you think it's a great sin. That's whatever. That's all you. It just makes me wonder, like, why? Uh, why does my behavior of denying the creator deserve such punishment? Like, what did I do besides, like, what harm does that cause anyone else in the world? Right? Like if I am, let's just hypothetically pretend that I'm in an island, um, and I with the Bible, right? So I know that this idea of God exists, but I'm in an island, and there's no, but I decide to be an atheist on this island, and decide no, God doesn't exist on this island. Um, what harm does that do to anyone else that it should be considered a sin? Like, I'm not hurting you, right? Like I'm not outright hurting you from denying your God or whatever, right? Um, I'm not hurting anyone really by saying I don't believe in your God. I wished you a happy Easter, which I apologize because it's not your holiday, but like I think it's great that you celebrate your thing. Lots of psychology research has shown that spirituality is very important to the human condition and whatnot, and that's all. Like I'm not trying to deny you your ability to do your thing. So why is it such deserving of punishment for me not to just be like, I don't want to celebrate Easter today, right? Like, why does that deserve me going to hell? Especially like, and this is something we talked about in the other stream. Especially considering that we live in a world with like such outright bigotry and such outright like like horrible shit happens all the time, that somehow me not believing in God is more egregious than all the other like horrible shit that people do. And maybe it's not more egregious. Maybe you don't think it's more egregious, but that it's equally egregious, or it's somehow the same amount of egregiousness, that like that say pharmaceutical companies charging hundreds of dollars for something that it cost them a couple of dollars to make, like insulin and epipens and things like that, like things that are life saving, and that we live in a world where companies exist that can charge hundreds of dollars for things that cost them a couple of dollars, things that are life savings, and yet they're okay. Like, that's somehow morally more okay than me saying I don't believe in God. Is just kind of an odd thing to say. uh, we should probably move. Micro wants to move on to the video, but I'm having a very fun conversation here with multi-tom. Okay, so yes, video time. Oh, I'm not gonna get through his skull, but I do find this interesting because I like at the end of the day, like I find this interesting mostly in the like, again, going back to the health thing, is that like the amount of ill will that multi tom tom has towards me, for the simple fact that I'm an atheist, versus the amount of ill will that I have for him, which is like zero. Like I not to lie, I don't care about what happens to you, but that doesn't mean I wish you ill. Like I don't, I hope you're happy, but I also don't care because I don't know you. The difference I find fascinating. it's all it's the brain things that I like. Hmm. Maybe. Oh no, I am definitely not on the fence. I've been an atheist for a very long time. Um, I'm not on the fence at all. I'm definitely not on the fence. I study psychology multi-tom, so it's I find people's behavior fascinating, and so I'm finding your behavior fascinating. It's pretty much it. Like you're not. I'm not gonna lie to you multi-tom. If we have a conversation, the chances of you convincing me or the like they're they're very low. You're not going to convince me that any religion is true. You're really not. So it's not. I'm not even going to pretend like you are. I'm not even going to pretend like you have a chance to, right? But I find your behavior very fascinating, especially the hell thing. The hell thing I really find fascinating. That you are so willing to damn people to hell, and give them this sentence of this horrible infinite future, like without any regard. Like I find that so fascinating. I just find your behavior fascinating. That's really it. It is genuinely the psychologist inside of R&D that is finding this fascinating. It's really not like a philosophical thing. Philosophy is shit, so I'm gonna go with that. You don't have the power to judge, and it sounds like you do. Not gonna lie, it's like maybe you don't have the power to judge, and I'm okay with that. But you definitely sound like you have the power to judge, or at least you think you have the power to judge. I'm gonna try to get the chat back up. Can I? Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Can I get the chat back up? This is the real question of the day. Let's see if I do this. Bam. Will that do a thing? Probably not. No, did not do anything at all. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about Hannah Williams here. Hannah Williams got actually no. God, that I need a pee. Oh, we have reached the part where we have reached an uncomfortable part where R&D's got to pee. And we didn't even get to our second video, so we're gonna do that real quick. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Enjoy some fan art, not fan art. That's the fan art one. Enjoy some fan art. Enjoy some royalty-free music. We'll be back in just a tick, and then it'll be good.
I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I went without you. Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go? Where do I go? How will I know? How will I know? I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the.
As promised, super short. I gotta pee sometimes. It's all. It has to happen. Don't drink and talk. That is a good advice right there that I should follow, but I don't. That's okay. Great beer, by the way. Thoroughly enjoying. I do want to try to get the chat. Why is the chat just being the chat? Is my real question here, because I would like to get it set up here so that you all can also thoroughly enjoy what I'm talking about, because I'm talking to multi tom and nobody else can see that except for me, and that's a little sad. That is a little sad that we're not all exposed to multi tom's commentary, which is arguably not that bad of a thing. Okay, there we go. So, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay, so we got ourselves Hannah Williams going to tell us all about how abortions are bad and whatnots, and her husband. Like I said, she's one of those pretty Christian ladies, just like what's her name? Paula Morgan. She's one of the Paula Morgan types. And she's got opinions. She's got opinions on things she probably shouldn't have opinions on things about. I guess I will outright start with my opinion about abortion, which is probably a little bit more radical than way more radical than everyone else's. Which is for me, she's very pretty. Look at those features. My opinion, which is probably a little bit more radical, which is I will take the full out. I think abortion should be legal up until conception. And we shouldn't be putting any restrictions on that besides because there's so many, I know people argue in case of incest, in case of that, there are so many variables to what makes a person decide that an abortion is necessary that I can't possibly predict what those conception. I do mean birth. That's true. I do mean birth. Is that there's so many variables. I am the best. There's so many variables to all this stuff. Chat, why are you being weird, chat? Chat is just being weird, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for chat being weird. Is that at the end of the day? Let's get this. There's just too many variables for me to be able to be this is this one thing that I have or this one opinion that I have about abortion is the be all, the end all be all. So many people have such wildly conflicting. I don't know what's up with chat. I'm gonna leave it alone. Just a lot of things happens. That I can't at least pretend to be able to make those decisions for everyone else. That's all. Your boyfriend Reds was begging me for a debate over Planet Rocker's chat on Friday. Microblogganism. Oh, that's a microblogganism question. I haven't talked to Planet Rocker in a while. He's a great guy. Reds and I don't get along, so at least if it comes to me, he's definitely not a me thing. Okay, so with that said, here we go.
Put it up! Just tear down everything I just said.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today, we're gonna be tackling the abortion topic.
Crazy.
So yeah, get ready for it. We're gonna hop into the intro and we'll be right back. What is up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Today I have Bailey Benham with me.
Hey guys.
And I'll let him tell a little bit about himself.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you lower the video volume? The level on that video? I can. Sorry. Bum. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Well, we'll try it out. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, it's this one. Sorry about that. It's also really hard for me to tell when the video is being freaky and when it's not. Oh, I'm just really low. I don't see the answer there is not to lower the video, but to make my voice louder. If I make me louder, then it all works out for the better. Okay, we got Hannah Williams and we got her boyfriend, I think.
my name is Bailey Benham. I go to school. We're actually here right now at Boyce College. I'm studying philosophy, politics, and economics. And
Oof, duh. That's a combination you shouldn't have. Philosophy, economics, and politics. Oh goodness. Have I done my rant about philosophy and how I hate it? And Red's probably left. Red has probably left. So he can't yell at me about my distaste for philosophy. I don't like philosophy. Have I talked to you about my dislike for philosophy? It's real bad. I don't like philosophy. It's just such a waste of time. Stop wasting your time with philosophy. Philosophy. See, Multi-Tom, we fucking build bridges together. Red is definitely here to judge me poorly. Philosophy and I do not get along. So one of the things that I used to joke about in college, in case you don't know, if you haven't figured it out by now, I have an English degree in rhetoric and discourse. In discourse. So I have a degree in rhetoric and discourse. And one of the things that we used to always say about philosophy in my class was that philosophy majors were just rhetoricians who couldn't find jobs. So my whole idea about my major is that I could I'm a practical philosopher, if that makes sense. That was kind of the joke, is that I could philosophy in a practical way, which was like lying to people. The Greeks were all full of shit. I'm not sure all of them were full of shit. I'm sure some of them certainly were. I'm not sure all of them were. They did come some. They did have aqueducts, and aqueducts are cool. And yeah, but I'm one who can actually do something useful. Oh look, there's other cat. I'm one who can actually do something useful with it. That was the Romans had the aqueducts. Fuck. I thought that was the Greeks. I don't know. Like they have good art. I think right now I'm questioning which ones I know, if it's the Greeks or the Romans who had good art. I as far as I know, I don't know. I'm sure Greek philosophers were full of shit. There is and I don't know if he's Greek or Roman anymore, because now I'm gonna have to look at my history. I was finding out this whole thing about how whatchamacallit, Plato. I think it was Plato who was doing the thing that every generation does because it's super cool to do, which is the shit on younger generations. So there's like scrolls that are pretty much being like, hey, you younger kids need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you all have it so much easier than my generation did, which is hilarious that this was being talked about back in the olden times. Like it's hilarious because it's what we're doing now. Plato was Greek. Fucking Greeks, I tell you. Wait, no, that was good, right? Yes, I didn't know the Greeks. And so it's pretty much like this whole generation thing where older generations shit on younger generations is nothing new to like millennials and boomers. Like the whole, okay boomer and millennials ruin everything thing, like that ain't new. That's been going on for forever, and I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating that we've been doing this for as long as we've had generations. We've been shitting on younger generations because they didn't have things as difficult as we did, and I do find that hilarious. You are a constant series of failures, R&D. Yes. Bitching about writing means kids won't learn how to memorize properly. It's true. Philosophy is a series of psychoanalysis and chiropractic. The psychology in me is like, How late am I? How late are you? You are late enough that our first stream got taken down, and we are on stream 2. That's how late you are. Okay, we're definitely not gonna get to Hannah Williams. We haven't even talked about abortion yet. We talked about God and philosophy and how much I dislike philosophy. All right, more fake. I do like this fake polymorphy. More fake polymorphy.
And earlier this summer, I started a little ministry called 128 Think, just trying to help young believers kind of understand what they believe in the culture and how to think through certain basic, abortion, homosexuality, all these major issues through a Christian worldview. So
I do love it. He's not even shy about it, and I do love that. I Multi-Tom, I'm not. This is probably your first or second time like watching this show. This show is like 2 hours of wasted time. That is like this show. I do love the fact that this guy, I don't even remember his name, was not even at all shy about the fact that he's going to tell you how to view these issues from a Christian, like, this is how you should view these issues. And he's going to tell you, and I find that, that's fantastic. If philosophy didn't exist, we'd have to invent it. No.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to tackle some of these questions.
I'm gonna link all of this stuff down below, so make sure that you go click the links, go follow his Instagram, all that stuff, so you guys know what to do. You know the drill.
Boom.
We're gonna go ahead and read scripture before we hop into these
No,
questions.
God damn it. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead. I don't really care about you reading scripture. Okay, comments. This I think is where we actually hopefully get into the juicy bits. Hopefully get into the juicy bits.
So Isaiah 44 verse 24 says, "Thus
Nope, don't care. God, we're a lot of scripture reading. Just answer the goddamn questions. Here we go.
60 million precious babies' lives that have been brutally taken from them."
Honestly, if you think about it, that's like an
60 million. So whatever statistic they use, right? 60 million lives. Which is fascinating. I wonder, because this is always hilarious. How many people do you think die of starvations every year? I'm really curious. Mostly because I'm gonna make a deaths by starvation per year. Let's go with per year, right? Like per year. How many do we get there? A lot. Okay. So according to the Global Hunger Facts, 9 million people, around 9 million people die of hunger and hunger-related disease every year. So what did you say? 60 million? Okay, 60 million. So maybe not as many, right? But why aren't and I do mean this. Why aren't you not why aren't you? Why isn't your God doing something about that? Like, I'm real curious. Obviously this isn't like a why aren't you concerned about that? I'm sure you are concerned about that. But why isn't your God concerned about that? That's okay. Like, starvation is something, especially in the year 2020. Starvation is something that should not happen at all. What was I was seeing this on Twitter before. Sperm is not babies. I agree with you. I was watching this on Twitter about how can we get a confirmation on these 60 million deaths? I can look it up in a second. So it'd be like, I was watching this on Twitter the other day about how dairy companies, dairy whatevers, are having to dump just gallons and gallons of milk pretty much down the drain because people aren't buying milk right now because coronavirus, right? So people aren't buying milk right now, so the demand for milk is way down, and so they're just dumping it into pretty much down the drain and to go into the ocean or whatever, wherever it goes, right? And the same thing happens if you've ever worked at a grocery shop or if you ever worked at Walmart. The same thing happens every day. At the end of the day, you take whatever's expired or whatever has shelf life has gone down, and you throw it in the trash. This is an extremely common practice, at least in the U.S., and I don't necessarily know what happens in other places, right? But at least in the U.S., this is an extremely common practice that we just throw away crap ton of food. So starvation is not something that should happen in the U.S., let alone in the world at 2020. There really is very little reasons for anybody to be starving in the world right now. We have an abundance of food. And yet somehow your God is okay with letting 90 million people die every year of hunger. It's 50% that if fertilized eggs won't implant some... Oh, we're talking things there. The fact that your God does nothing about that says a whole lot about how much he cares about those 9 million people who die. He honestly could put up because your God is omni whatever, right? He could make a portal that the trash cans from grocery stores, that all the good food ended up in people's plates, so that they could eat it, right? There's nothing stopping him from being able to do that, so that even if you want to find a roundabout way, there's nothing stopping him from making sure that delivery trucks always ended up at always had just the right amount of food, or that cows produced just the right amount of milk so that no extra had to be wasted. There's nothing stopping your God from doing that, and yet it still happens. So it's kind of weird that we are focusing on this bit rather than focusing on the things that your God could do to help 9 million people a year be saved from starvation. Igor did ask about the number of abortions per year. So let's look that up real quick. Number of abortions per year in the so this is just the U.S. So in the U.S., according to Wikipedia, we're just gonna stick with Wikipedia. They only have up to 2016, and in 2016 they had not that's 1,000. So not actually. Wow, 60 million at least in the U.S. is not that much. At least for till 2016 they have 623,471 according to Wikipedia from the CDC in the year 2016. So maybe it's increased since then, but definitely not the over 6 million, at least not in the US. Maybe around the world. God, that's a really big number even around the world. So of course then the problem is, how do you define an abortion? There's as Red has pointed out, the likelihood of an egg actually fertilizing is 50-ish%. I think that's about right. And so and then most of the time it leads to miscarriage. Is that considered an abortion, or all miscarriages considered an abortion? If you wanted to play the numbers game, you could say that all miscarriages are considered abortions, and then you could add that to the total there that fake Paul and Morgan have for us. So potentially, life is approximately 10 to 20,000 years old. Oh, you're talking about how old are they? Yeah. So it depends on what you're saying about that. The best before is not expiration. The best before is not an expiration date. Milk is not best, can be used for cooking and baking. Yeah. No. And you're right, like Rex. You're right. We throw away a lot of food. We are the problem with starving kids. It's amazing that God cares a whole lot more about abortion not even in the million, it looks like. And I'm gonna go with the CDC calculations, which is a little bit over 500,000 abortions according to the CDC. So according to the CDC, it's about 500,000 abortions in the U.S. He seems to care a whole lot more about those 500,000 over the 9 million that die from starvation. So
that's 60 million precious babies' lives that have been brutally taken from them.
Honestly, if you think about it, that's like an entire generation of people. That's the next doctors, that's the next lawyers, that's the next pop stars.
I do love that. This is one of my favorite arguments about this thing is the that's the next good thing. That's also the next bad thing, right? That's also the next Donald Trump. That's also the next murderer. That's also the next rapist. That's also the next that's not how it is not how generations work, but still. That's also the next bad person. That's also the next, person who's gonna stab you. Like, if we're gonna play this game where we're gonna pretend like we somehow know the future of unborn children, if we're gonna pretend this, we're gonna play this game, right? Let's if we're going to do that, right? Then that is the next person who's gonna hurt you. That's the next person who's gonna run over your grandma. That's the next person who's gonna steal from you. That's the next scam artist. I can do the same thing, right? Just because you can say that's the next doctor doesn't mean that I can't say that's the next mass murderer. They're all equally possible, right? It's not like your fantasy world of what these I guess I don't even want to call them unburned, like these hypotheticals. It's not like your version of hypotheticals is any more realistic than my version of hypotheticals. It just matters on how you frame it. If you're gonna frame it as like good, that's one way. But we can also frame it as like the next not so good person. See, I can do that too.
That's the next movie stars. That's the next president of the United States.
That's not gonna lie. That's not a good thing. Hypothetical children are the most important, or more important than actual children. Yeah, I mean, you should have just learned the book of nature and the book of scripture, but you ended up with the young Earth creationists. That's true. Don't be a young Earth creationist, multi Tom Tom. That's not a good look. Nobody looks good as a young Earth creationist.
Was brutally killed because he or she didn't even have the choice to live, right? Talking about
So again, I'm going to go back to the amount of people that starve per year, because you have plenty of children and plenty, God, even adults, right? You have plenty of people who don't have a choice in their lives, right? Especially children. The amount of children who die of starvation. I like these statistics on the number of children whose like reliance on things like school lunches as their sole means of like school lunches and school breakfast as like their sole way of getting nutrition is staggering. They don't have a choice, right? Children don't have a choice on whether they get to eat or not. They're entirely dependent on parents and whatnot. Those are live people. Those are people alive right now. Who are suffering. Those are people alive who are right now, like this day, right? One of the biggest things that coronavirus did do, and it's such a balancing act, is that one of the things that a lot of districts struggled with was the fact that if they shut down schools for the safety of kids, to like make sure that people aren't like gathering together and all that, right? Like for their safety, to keep them safe, they'd have to shut down schools. But if they shut down schools, that also means that a lot of kids don't get to have a lunch that day, don't get to have breakfast that day. And like the consequences of making those choices, it really, like, it's, these people are real now. Like these are real people now that exist, and you are more worried about people who don't exist than you are worried about people who do exist.
Talking about being pro-choice, how about the little babies who had absolutely no choice to live? They had no choice.
According to Google Wiki Who, worldwide there are 56 million abortions per year. Oh, thank you.
For their destiny. Norma McCorvey, in Roe v. Wade, in the court case, my grandpa actually led her to the Lord soon after. He put his offices right next to the abortion clinic where she worked, and just became friends with her and tried to talk to her over and over again, and eventually she repented of her ways, and she completely changed, which is totally a testimony to the Lord, which is crazy.
Yeah. On Instagram, I asked you guys, I put a little question sticker up there, and I also did this on YouTube on my channel too. I let you guys ask whatever questions that you wanted to ask, and so I'm going to read some of those off, and we're going to kind of discuss and answer some of those for you guys. First question is, when does life begin?
Ooh, that's a good question. Arguably you don't know. Very arguably, you have no idea what you mean. Why is she slurring her speech too? I don't know. Like, I understand why I'm slurring my speech. This beer is really good. Everyone else, I don't know.
Inception or later on? And people are always like, well, when does life begin? Because if it's not truly a life, then why is it wrong to abort it?
Right.
So when do you believe
I mean, as Christians, we should obviously believe that life begins at conception. From the moment of conception, that is a human life.
Okay, that's fine. That fine. That is your definition of human life. That's okay. As it has been pointed out with all the things, eggs and sperm are alive too, but they're not human life. So I will give it to them. This is fine. This is their definition, which is fine because the thing is, regardless of where you put your line, regardless of whether you put your line here or at conception, or you put it at 3 weeks or 4 months or whatever, regardless of where you put your line, there will always be exceptions. There will always be weirdnesses to it because as we all know, nature doesn't care about our fucking lines. Like, nature does not care where we put our lines. Nature will do whatever the hell it wants to do, regardless of whether we put the line somewhere or not. So I'm not gonna give them. If that's where they want to define human life as conception, that's fine. Perfectly cool with that, because it just means that what do you do then when whatever ridiculously high statistic. I think it's like 50 or 60% of fertilizations end up in pretty much miscarriages. That is not so. So if you're gonna put it there, right? If you're gonna put human life there, then 73%. Thank you. I knew it was something ridiculously high. If you're gonna put it there, then human nature, the thing that your God created, 73% of the time is going to abort a child. Not by any choice that the mother made, not by any choice that the father made, not by any choice that the doctor made, but by just nature itself. 73% of the time, human life is going to end. And the only person that you can blame for that at that point, you cannot blame the mother, you cannot blame the father, you cannot blame a doctor. The only person that you can blame at that point is the God that created everything, because he's the one who set it up so that 73% of the time a conception ends up in a miscarriage. And so if we're going to talk about abortion this way, if we're going to talk about abortion ending a human life, and let's take your 60 million people, right? Let's do some math that I can't do, obviously. We're just going to do calculator here. We're going to take 60 and we're just going to divide it by we're going to take 60 and we're just going to divide that by 0.73. Is that right? Yes. No, that's wrong. Divided by 73. I can do math sometimes. Divided by 73. So that's a bit over, almost close to a million. 0.82 million people. That if we're gonna define things this stupid way, then 0.82% or 0.82 million people. That seems really low. No, that is way low. I can't math. Whatever 73% of whatever 73% is of 60 million. God, math is not my forte today. We're gonna do 60. We gotta multiply, cross, and divide. Thank you. Oh, that's a doorknob there. Whatever number Insider just said, 4398, whatever's, or aborted by your God. That's how many abortions your God has. Like, your God is aborting way more people than we are. And we can sit 43 million, thank you. 43 million. And we can sit here and do math all sorts of way, right? Like if 60 million is how many people we abort, right? Like as humans doing the thing, how many people we abort. We can take how many births there are. That however many births there are, that's roughly only 27% of the amount of births that could have actually occurred, right? That's about 1/4. So however many births there are a year, 3/4 of those, or take that and times it by 3, that is how many births didn't happen because of your God, because of the rules that your God wrote about nature. Like, there's all sorts of ways to do this. There's more than there's way more than one way to sit around and just to show that your God is the one that is aborting more children than we are. If we're gonna play this numbers game. Okay. Human life seems precious to humans. A tiger doesn't give a shit about human life. It's true. Human life is precious. I mean, I agree. Humans are precious. I think human life is precious. What do we define human life is something that you and I are gonna have to have a discussion about. It's iffy because again, according not according to my definition, but according to the definition of Hannah and fake Paul over there, according to their definition, it's not that precious, right? According to that definition, it's only about 1/4 as precious as what I would say human life is. Then and God as rituals of sanctions abortions. Yeah, no, that's true. So we'll listen to a little bit more of this. But otherwise, I got groceries delivered to me today. I have to go check them out.
And that's exactly when life begins. However, if you're watching this and you're not a Christian, the only way to be consistent with your logic is to find out for you, when do you think life begins, you know? And so some people would say it's a heartbeat. Some people would say it's brainwave activity. Some people would say whenever it looks like a baby, right? The thing is with that, it's relative to whatever anyone thinks, right? And so if it's relative to what everyone thinks, then if someone who was outside the womb, if it was relative and they were like, oh, they're not a human, right? Then would that give them the right to murder that person? Of course not. Because
So it's not like yours is any less relative. Again, you're okay with your God murdering all the things. You're also okay with spending your time. Life becomes other living things that only started once. You're still arguing. Like life is relative. Like it's such. This idea that the things need to have a concrete response is why we have so many problems in the world. I feel like, is that the fact that people want to have like concrete answers when life is relative. It's there isn't a one answer to when is human life. I don't know. And if you want to argue that human life isn't human life until you're 18. And you want to make that argument, I mean, go ahead and make that argument. I'm not going to stop you. Does that give you the right to, like, kill that person? I mean, again, you can sit there and argue. I would argue no, but you can sit there and argue. At the end of the day, what we have to think about is not whether the argument makes sense, but whether we are comfortable, like, to what point are we comfortable with it? Which is why I said, like, early on, like, my idea of when abortion should be allowed to take is rather an extreme one. And I'm okay with with having an extreme one, but I'm also okay with understanding that not everyone holds that same viewpoint. But mine comes from a practical, like, decisions need to be made by doctors and parents, not by random ass people in the middle of Texas. That I think that those kinds of decisions, and sometimes those kinds of decisions, need to be made quickly without hesitation, and to have rules against that is rather silly, because all it does is it puts more barriers in the ways of being able to do what is potentially the best interest for the mother or the child. It depends, and that's the thing. The reason that I put it there is because I don't know the answers, right? The reason that I put it at birth is not because I think that life starts at birth. It's because up until then, it's like there are so many variables. There's no way for me to be like, for me to be able to say, if all of these variables are true, then it's life, and then you can't do it. I can't do that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a parent. You know, I've never had to make these decisions. I probably never will. So it's not okay for me to have to make these decisions for someone else. And there's plenty of cases that have been documented cases of, like, women needing to have abortions at very, very late things, like very late into their terms. And it's one of those, like, you either abort the child or you die because complications, whatever complications you may have. And it feels rather unfair for some random asshole in Nebraska to say what someone else's decision should be. Like, I feel like those decisions should be left up to that mother. Potentially, and I'd be even iffy about saying the father, but, you know, potentially the father. But that she and her doctor should be the ones making those decisions, because they are the ones who are actually affected by them. I'm not affected by them. They are the ones affected by them. So why should it be my decision instead of the decision of the people who are actually affected by these decisions? And that's why I take that stand. I'm good with abortion until viability. The fetus can survive outside the womb. Obviously, the health of the mother takes priority. Yeah, and see, and I don't, and even that I couldn't say, because, like, I personally, like, if I was stuck in that position, I, like, for whatever reason my wife is pregnant, I would want to keep my wife because I know her and I like her. But I can't say the same thing for another couple, right? If another couple, another woman decides that for her, the best decision is to let her child live, I can't, in any good conscience, be like, no, you're wrong. You need to make the decision that I think is right. I think it should be her decision and not my decision, which is why I take such a, at birth kind of stands, because I shouldn't have a say on that. And that's pretty much it. This opinion, when it comes to abortion, at the end of the day, this opinion does not matter. What matters are the people who are actually going to be affected by the decisions being made, and it's not going to be me. I'm not the one who's going to be affected. That's so. And if the mother chooses that it's her decision, I'm just speaking general. Yeah. If for whatever reason my wife was pregnant, do we need to talk? We don't talk for whatever reason. I don't know what those reasons might be. All right. With that said, we're gonna end this here. I am incredibly sorry for all the weirdnesses today with streams and stuff. I will be appealing things with YouTube, yelling at YouTube. Please yell at YouTube for me. If you're on Twitter, about the stupidity of having my stream cut off, about what I am trying to talk about, how fat shaming is bad, but whatever. So with all that said, thank you everyone for being here. I do truly appreciate it. Multi Tom, thanks for being here. Feel free to, I don't know, DM me on Twitter. Yeah. DM me on Twitter or leave a comment. I don't know. We'll chat. You can come on the show at some point. It'd be fun to talk to you. Probably not, but I'm going to pretend like it is. So thank you everyone for being here. I do truly appreciate you all being here. Where's the camera? Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy Easter if you celebrate it. Don't enjoy Easter if you don't. Have some ham. Don't have some ham. I don't care. Have a beer. Enjoy life. Stay safe and all those things. Stay indoors. And I will see you all next time.